Hi everybody. I want to talk about some of the work I'm doing in computing education. Um, Four basic areas in computing education. This is triggered by the Computing for All initiative, this short video. But one thing I'm working on is looking at online courses as possible meeting grounds for institutional extended families. And what I mean by that is an online course which is being used in a campus course is not just a resource for the campus students, but it's also a resource for institutional alumni, professional staff on campus, people in the immediate community. People in Vanderbilt's extended family can all participate in a shared online course, and they can interact with each other. Alumni can interact with students as mentors, but they can also be other learners. I had a law student who was dissatisfied with the law, Vandy alum, who wanted to take my database course online. The other thing I'm working on is looking at formal learning as a means of benefiting informal learners. And this is related to the first point. That is, if you've got these meeting grounds online, and I've got my campus students going through those courses, those campus students can benefit other students who are taking that course, and moreover, I, as a campus instructor who is going through that course with his or her students, can benefit those informal learners as well. So I think it's a big win, and we're studying ways of these formal learning cohorts, campus cohorts, benefiting informal learners who are isolated. The third thing that we're working on is light-win interventions to motivate students. How do you better motivate students in an online context so they actually see the course through? It's well known that isolated students suffer in an online course because there's no social support. So how do we provide that social support in a lightweight means? We'll talk about that. And finally, I'm working on computing for environmental and societal sustainability. And I will correct that spelling later. I see it. So here's the database course. I'm going to talk about the database course at some length. This is the campus database course. And this database course has a list of topics. It's rather standard in terms of the topics that it teaches. These are standard database course topics, introductory level. One of the differences is instead of using a classic textbook for this database course, I'm using an online course by a Stanford professor as the, if you will, the multimedia textbook for the course. This is done with the permission of the instructor, and it's done with the permission of of Stanford University. In fact, they love this. But our students go through this online course. But they, importantly, and I'll get to some of the aspects of the online course, they do more than simply the online course. In particular, they work on database design projects, and they've got those due coming up relatively soon. And these can be rather sophisticated projects. This is just a past project of a book retailer that students have worked on in the past. And that's the visual representation, but they also translate this to a sequel, formal representation that can be manipulated online. They practice it. And there's also exams in this course. And I post the answers for previous exams. Students can look at the past exams. They can take those past exams. After taking those past exams, they can look at the key for those past exams. This is all online. There's a Blackboard site for the course, but that's mainly to store the grades and for private discussion on topics that students don't want to talk about on the online course discussion forum. If we go through the schedule here, the schedule is broken down into weeks. There's 15 of them. Each week, students will watch some videos on the online course, and they will typically also they're required to do some exercises. So here, before the January 19th course, they're supposed to watch videos, they're supposed to do some material on the online course, and there's some caveats here. I'm not, these are literally speaking optional, but I'm not going to get into that caveat right now. So far as everyone's concerned, we're taking this online course. And then they come into class and we do other things. So we work on exercises in class that I will pass out, and they will do in class, and then we'll go over the answers in class. So online exercises is only one thing that we do. We do a lot of other things typically. And that's what our class time is spent doing. The Stanford online course is quite good. It's got an online site you can look at. It's got a dashboard, and it's really, instead of one big course, it's a bunch of mini courses. And these correspond nicely to about 1 week modules in a regular campus course. And we can look at these online modules. You'll see that in most cases I've done all the online modules and I've gotten certain scores on them, and each week students who go through this, who choose to go through this, get a statement of accomplishment, not for the entire 15-week course, but for simply one module, one week module. Frankly, I find that highly motivating. I would spend an extra couple hours at night when I was doing these last year or 2 years ago, an extra hour or two at night, just because I knew I was so close to getting a statement of accomplishment. And I think that this idea of weekly statements of accomplishment or badges versus simply ones that you get at the end of the semester is quite motivating. It corresponds to what we might call a lightweight intervention I'll talk about later. So one of these is SQL. We can go take a look at the SQL courseware if you click on that. And there will be videos associated with the SQL courseware.
Another clause called the order by clause. We tell the attribute we'd like to be ordering by, and then if we want it to be descending, we write DESC. The default behavior is actually ascending. So,
in addition to these videos that they'll be watching, and I scope these out so they're not overwhelmed in a 1 week period, there's exercises, and these exercises come with auto graders, some sample databases, simple databases, and they're to write queries for these databases. So here you can see the query that I wrote for question 5 of the exercises, and you'll see that I got it correct. But if I were to do something wrong, like misspell something and resubmit this, it should come back and tell me I've gotten it wrong. Yes, this is unrecognized, an unrecognized field. And students can resubmit their answers as long as they want to until they get a high enough score. So this is a very good practice platform for a lot of the exercises they've got to do. There's other courseware here for relational design theory. Again, there's about 15 of these. And the students love this online course, but I want this to be more than simply an online course for the students. I want to give Vanderbilt alums, for example. You can imagine that right here is the online course. It's sort of the center of the universe. And I've got my campus students taking that online course, and I'm taking it. But we've also got campus alums who are taking it. And we've also got professionals on campus who are taking it. And we've also got people from University of the South, small regional universities who don't have the resources to teach a lot of these advanced computer science courses. And they're benefiting not simply by taking the online course, but interacting with our formal cohort as they go through that online course. Which brings up yet another idea. If I go to this, I want to highlight this idea that online cohorts can benefit informal cohorts. You can see if there's a discussion forum here in which everybody can participate. This is a question that was posted about 7 days ago, and I came by relatively quickly and answered this. This is for the SQL course, and SQL is a very popular course, and so people taking very popular mini courses, in this case, SQL, everyone wants the SQL skills, is going to get fast turnaround by a social cohort. But there are other courses, and let's go take a look at one, Relational Design Theory, which is more theoretical, and not many people are going to want to take this. Again, it has all the videos and exercises too, but if we look at its discussion forum, here's its discussion forum, and I recently answered a question that was posted 8 months ago by somebody, and it had gone unanswered. It was because I was the instructor for a formal course that I came along and answered that. And I think that's a big win. That's an example of how formal learning can benefit informal learning. And that's what we're doing. We want people out in this region to benefit from what I'm doing on campus, as well as the inverse. I want people on campus to benefit from the best TA in the world that is taking this course in India and who is willing to help my campus students. We're not doing this yet, don't worry, there's all sorts of policy questions, who can benefit my campus students, this best TA in the world, by helping them through some of the material. And so we can take, in our campus courses, take advantage of this global expertise as well. The third thing I'm doing is lightweight interventions, and I talked about that monthly or that weekly badge or certificate as an example of a lightweight intervention that was highly motivating. You don't have to change the structure of the course to get additional benefits. I'm going to play this. This is a poster, what's called a flip poster, and we'll just run through it. And it looks like it's going to make me log on, because my logon expired. Oops. And of course, I've got a million passwords, so let's see if I guess the right one now. There we go. Let's go through and play this.
And scores for each assignment in the...
Hi, my name is Doug Fisher, and I'm Associate Professor of Computer Science at Vanderbilt University.
I'm Kate Brady. I'm a graduate student in computer science at Vanderbilt University.
And I'm Gayatri Narasimham. I'm an Assistant Director at the Vanderbilt Institute for Digital Learning.
We are interested in what we call lightweight social interventions into open online courses. Lightweight interventions are intended to motivate learner engagement in an online course while not requiring that the course be substantially redesigned. Our poster describes our lightweight intervention in a MOOC to see whether it increases any types of engagement, most notably the completion of homework assignments.
In particular, we hypothesized that the possibility of becoming a community TA would incentivize some students to increase their engagement in a course.
We tested our hypothesis in the third session of a MOOC teaching the MATLAB programming language offered by Vanderbilt University through Coursera. This was a popular course with an enrollment of nearly 15,000 at the time our experiment started. There was prestige in being a community TA, as was apparent in the previous 2 sessions of the course. Students who took the post-course survey of earlier sessions expressed strong interest in becoming a community TA in future offering.
A day before the first assignment was due in the MATLAB course, we emailed half the enrolled learners asking them whether they would like to be considered for a community TA-ship in the next course offering if they completed the current session in the top 20%. This was the experimental group. The other half of learners, which was the control group, did not get this email. We wanted to see if this prompt motivated learners in the experimental group to complete more assignments at higher scores than the control group, and whether course completion rates and scores were similarly affected.
To analyze these results, we looked at the difference in participation rates and scores for each assignment in the course between the experimental and control groups.
So you can see that's the basic study. We got some nominal significant results that we're reporting at a conference, but that's an example of a lightweight intervention to motivate students. Give the possibility of a reward, and now we're actually considering those students for reward. The fourth thing that I want to talk about doing, that I am doing, is looking at computing and sustainability education. There are a couple different ways that I and others are doing that. One, we're designing courses, computer science courses that actually use sustainability to frame computer science. They are computing and sustainability courses, and there's specialty courses, special topics. I'm doing a special topics next semester. But the other way is to infuse sustainability across the computing curriculum. And this is a wiki book that I started. It is basically a lab manual, like a chemistry lab manual or physics lab manual or biological science lab manual that specifies exercises that students can do in an AI course. So the idea here is you don't take away one bit of the computer science content from these computer science courses, but rather use sustainability as one of the primary domains for exploring, in this case, artificial intelligence. But it could be database, it could be hardware, energy efficiency and recyclability. It could be a whole bunch of different areas. In any case, these are the 4 areas that I am working on, and looking forward to